All right. Boom. We got Caleb in the building.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
First ever, or one of the very first people in this Discord, OGs, back on to bigger and better things like growing exponentially, continuing to get consistent deals from Zillow, learning. His hustle is nonstop, bro. And I was speaking to you yesterday. You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you inspire me still. And like we watched your video the other day, your cold calling video, learned a lot. We took notes about the lingo, the real estate lingo and getting because there's certain type of archetypes that he was that there are of sellers, and he was the A type personality, the investor. So they usually always sound the same, and they're always the rudest. And you were able to overcome that and lower his guard, which I thought was cool. So now that we have you here, what have you been? How has your journey in wholesale real estate been since been doing your own thing, not in the Discord as much, and are you still getting deals from Zillow? What are you doing as far as like your CRM? Just like what does your day-to-day life look like right now as far as like wholesaling?
Okay. Well, great intro. And like you said, my name is Caleb, one of the first students in this Discord. And my day to day just look like, I'm still doing Zillow. Me and Isaiah is about to tap in now to start, going after target lists. Do some more paid marketing. But my day to day is just look like I'm getting up, probably 8:30. You know what I'm saying? I'm analyzing. All right, let me see what new. I always check for what new deals hit the market. I try not to, and it's so hard to do this, but I try not to cherry pick. You know what I'm saying? Because then you want to go and see like, okay, I know I got buyers over here. Let me call this one first versus just calling the fresh one, the first one that just popped up. If it's in a metro city or metro area, just call it. I try not to do that as much, but I just analyze the deal and I'll put like, let's say like 5 tabs, open of the first 5 that just popped up. And then I'll, whether I go out for a run or whether I get my morning started, that's what it pretty much looks like. And then I just come in and hammer the phones. So I do that from around, let's say 10 to 11. And then I switch over to kind of like, all right, let me look at my week. Let me look at where my numbers are for that week or for that standpoint. How can I bump them up? What am I doing? I try to do like basically a deep dive on like, what am I doing that I can improve, or you know what I'm saying, or I feel like I'm weak at. Right now, I've been doing a lot of texting, figuring out different systems and processes to like get get more off market leads, even if it's on Zillow. Like one strategy I was talking to you, Isaiah, about is now I'm having the sellers pull the listing off just entirely. That way it shows off market. It is easier to market it. And in either way, if they don't do it, you can still, you know what I'm saying, you just have to have it, low enough to the point where an investor goes and see it. They'll let you know, hey, look, this is online. And I'm like, yeah, that's yeah. Do you want it? You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't kill, or it doesn't make or break or deal. But yeah, I've noticed it definitely helps in a situation, especially being able to, get attack a little bit more on your fee. So that's pretty much what I've been doing, just grinding, like head down, grinding, trying to figure out how to get to the next level.
Um, when you were, and I'll let them ask questions if y'all want to ask, but I want to say, when you first came in here, first came into the Discord, you got 2 kids or 3?
I got 2 kids.
You got 2 kids,
Yep.
and you got a wife. And I remember the situation was pretty stressful, and like, we've all been there. It's like at some point in time, it's like it's not that you hate each other, but it's like family could get on each other's nerves. Family, it could be a toxic household, and but you had the most resolve I talk about and like dedication. But how was it? Can you like kind of walk us through what it was like, whether on the daily or just spiritually or just like whatever? What was it like when you were going ham in this Discord? You were going extremely ham, but like your personal life was like there was a lot of issues. How did you deal with that? And find the time to do this with 2 kids, a wife, and people are nagging
Right.
at you about paying money and paying rent, all this other stuff.
Right. Yeah. So great question. For me, and just to let y'all know, like everybody in my household worked from home. So that's already a stressful situation when you got this room going crazy with meetings, this room going crazy with calls and meetings, and then you're trying to fit in and like it's like, all right, where does the kids go? How do we delegate if we both got demanding schedules? How do we, So it was at first it was definitely like a struggle, because they're used to me, I go out and I go work at a physical place or whatever because they've been working from home. My wife been working from home for a while. So it was a struggle. Like really, it really was. It was like, oh, well, this is my time. This is my time. And to trying to organize things and especially try to get my calls out. And it's, as obviously y'all know, wholesaling in general is a stressful business, especially when you first getting started. You're trying to figure out your way around. So for me, I kind of use that in a way. I'm like, okay, the only way literally to make my situation better is to provide some type of result. Because in the beginning, when you have a family who's like they used to working and they work in other jobs and stuff like that, they're not entrepreneurs, it's a see it to believe it type of situation, right? So you're having to not only prove it to yourself but prove it to the other people around you. Like, all right, I'm just not in here just yelling at people. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually structuring deals. I'm learning how to sell and doing and go out here and provide value to a market. So it took time, it took me having to be like, all right, I don't care what's going on in my mind. It's this person is like, no, you need to go this, and it's like, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, results is going to be the only thing that's, it's like when you're getting chased by a pack of wild dogs. You know what I'm saying? You got a little treat in your pocket. You trying to hustle to get and you throw it back. You like, all right, now I got him off me. I can get a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of room to run even faster. So that's how I looked at the situation. It's like, okay, if I can throw some treats back, like let me get some type of deal. Let me get something. You know what I'm saying? I need something to throw back to them to show like, all right, he's working. And once I did that, I was able to be like, okay, I see it now. It's no longer and that's that proof of concept even for yourself when trying to get your first deals. Like it's no longer a doubt, because when you actively trying to get that first deal, as hard as you going, you still have that small amount of doubt in your mind. Like, is this good? You get to day 30, you haven't seen any results. Day 40, and you like, dude, like, is this actually gonna work? Like, me and Isaiah both had sleepless nights, like staying up. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like cold sweats type of nights, just wondering if this was actually gonna work. So for me, I just kind of used that. I leaned into it. I've always been a person who like adversity. As hard as it is, I don't know why I'm wired that way, but I'm just like, all right, let me use this. Let me overcome it and just try to change something about my situation.
Right. Um, as you're talking, I got more questions. If y'all have more questions, I feel like we're just gonna get to a Q&A at the end of it or something.
For
But
sure.
talk about I wanted to say like the pressure from your family, but yeah, you did kind of address that. It was like, I need something just to like, here's the money, this is why
Exactly.
it's working a little bit. Just give me a little bit more
And, and,
time.
and just to touch back on that, when I mean something, it don't matter if it wasn't even a deal closed. If I got a contract, I'm like, look at this contract. I just when you're in that situation, be loud about it. Don't be shy about like, I don't, because we know, because when you get around other people who doing it, you're like, contract, we know that ain't nothing. We know. But people who don't know that or don't know the business, they don't know what that is. So be excited about it. Be enthusiastic, because you have to not only sell these investors to buy your deals, not only sell these sellers to have you buy their home, but you have to sell those around you who don't believe. You have to always continuously sell. So if they didn't, I wouldn't say they didn't believe in me, but like I said, you know how people are, like, it's a seeing to believe it type of situation. So I'm like, look, got a contract, got a, got a contract. That's so right. I'm loud about it. And I'm excited because that gets them excited. They're like, oh, well, we read this gonna be the one, this gonna be the one. So as stressful as it was, the more reaffirming to that person that I was becoming helped, you know what I'm saying, helped give me that leeway or that room, because I was loud about it. Like, everybody knew what I was doing, especially in my house, not my other family, but everybody knew what I was doing. And I wanted you to, because I wanted you to be a part of the journey. I wanted you to be excited the way I was excited, so that at any moment you feel like you got doubt about me, you're gonna feel bad about it, because you're constantly seeing me work. So it's like, if you coming around saying, oh, this person's not doing this not, you know what I mean? It's like, so
what about what about hitting the KPIs in the beginning, when we know it could be not easy. A lot of people struggle with keeping the KPIs every day, especially when they feel like they have Atomic Habit talks about winners don't let the demands of life, hold them back from what their priorities are. And I like how it worded it, the demands of life. Like, everybody has real life issues. Everybody has, you had 2 kids,
right.
when you living in this household, and everybody wants something and all these other stuff. So what would you have to say about people who are struggling to hit the KPIs? Or sometimes, you used to be here, I think you would witness, sometimes they feel like they don't have to hit the 20 conversations as long as they hit the 3 offers, or it's they make excuses.
Yeah, so my answer to that is, I thought they were stupid, and I thought I thought they was pointless, because obviously you don't know business. None of us, when we get in this, we don't know how a real business operates. So you're like, man, I got to call all these people. They cussing me out, especially in the beginning, like, you don't know nothing. So it's like, all right, bro, this is stupid. Like, why am I calling these people? But once Isaiah, this is what helped me, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We had a meeting. Isaiah called me out in front of everybody, right? He's like, look, you're not as good as you think you are. Pipe down, like, come down. And then I'm like, all right. So, and then that argumentative spirit came about me, and I'm like, well, what you mean? Or I'm like, all right, tell me what I'm not good at. He's like, well, you can improve this, and then it was always in a constructive way. It wasn't like, attacking me, or I never felt that way. But we really sat down there and went through a whole list. Like, this is what you need to do. You need to make sure you're hitting your KPIs. Like, don't be okay with just 1 or 2 calls. Like, actually do the work, this, that, and the third. So I just sat back. It was an ego hit for me. I was disheartened, but sat back and I read that list, and I'm like, all right, bet. New attitude. I'm coming tomorrow with a new personality. And that's exactly what I did. I just shut up, because I've always been loud. I don't care what nobody say. Since I came in the day one in this Discord, I told Isaiah, I'm like, dude, I'm getting 5 deals in 90 days. Like, I don't care what nobody say. And I was loud about it. But as far as like getting at KPIs, you have to switch your mindset or your perspective on, this is what I have to do to get the business, to this is what I love to do because I love business. You know what I'm saying? Because any business operator knows that their business runs off of, KPIs, key performance indicators. And if you don't know your if you don't know your KPIs, you don't know your business. So what are you operating? You're just busy, and busy is broke. So you want to keep a mind frame on, like, I want to love this. Like, I don't care if I don't now, I will become to love this. Like, anything y'all have done in y'all life, I'm pretty sure you got into something that maybe a friend introduced you to, your parents introduced you to, and you like, it wasn't really something that you cared about for real. But once you start digging into it deeper, you find some interest in it. Find interest in anything. So if your interest is just in the sales part, use the KPIs as the benchmark to have sales practice, right? If your interest is in, analyzing deals and structured deals, how you gonna analyze more deals? Talk to more people. Use the KPIs to be, you know what I'm saying, to be that backbone. So that's what I did for me. My interest was in sales and like trying to get better on the phone. So I'm like, okay, how can I dig deeper into this? I need to just fully just call every single body, all my KPIs. And that was just the threshold for me, because some days I would go above and beyond, because I would have my calls. I'm like, I'm not satisfied enough. Like, it don't really give me that feeling that I wanted. So let me call somebody else. Let me send out more texts. And then that's when I really start falling in love with like the process, and not just like kind of detached from the outcome. And, was looking more so at the process based, results, because I'm like, all right, if I can learn this process, obviously it works. I'm looking at what Isaiah's doing. I'm looking at, the actuals in real time, and not just something somebody's telling me. He's like, I just closed another deal. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what you do? The same thing I'm telling you to do.
Yeah,
so I'm like, all right, bet.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but that's like, I was picking up on that as you were talking. I just wanted to make sure I made sure I say that. When you have a coach, bro, so yeah, point one, to comment off of what you were saying when you said you thought they were stupid. And yeah, we did have like, I told him, like, me and Caleb, like, we were kind of butting heads, something like that. I was learning how to be a leader, and then he was learning more how to be a student so he could become a leader. You can't be a leader without being a student first. You have to learn how to be coachable in order for you to coach people. And so he, like, he learned to be coachable, but at the same time, it was like me being a leader, like you just said. It would have been stupid of me to even like argue with Caleb about what he thinks is best. I'm like, what it was I learned as a leader. I was like, you know what? I don't have to even talk. Like, I don't have to. My results show. Like, the deals are here. I'm just trying to show you how I got my deals. And so I think that's a big thing of being a student that I know you could relate to, and I want everybody else to relate to, because sometimes people in here, I'm telling them stuff, or maybe I'm, pointing out some pattern recognitions in them. And it's like, at some point, even my mentor Vince, he was saying when he bought a mentor, he was too dumb to challenge what they were saying. So he just did exactly what they said, and he made it happen. So how would you say that how important would you say it is for you, and just how what you've experienced in general, or see other people, how important is it to be coachable? And sometimes you got to shut your brain off. Like, what would you like, just what is your perspective as far as like being coachable, and like putting your ego to the side and just doing what somebody says because they say to do it, because they're
I have one word for that, bro. Conviction, right? It's something that convicted you to go in your pocket, pull out money, and pay this person, right? It's a reason for that. Whether you want to be a car salesman, whether you want to do wholesale real estate, whether you want to do whatever, if you paid a mentor, you paid them for a reason. Just get out of your ego. You don't, obviously, if you knew the sauce, you would be the coach. You would be the one teaching it. And it's an ego thing, right? You have to go through an ego death. And sometimes you just got to get slapped upside the head. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest, because if you're a person like me, where I've managed teams, I developed and hired. I worked at different retail spots where I was the manager, and I built my own teams. I developed it. So I'm like, all right, this dude's never even taught nobody. How he gonna try to come teach me, right? So that was the issue. But I was like, all right, no, let me come off my ego. This is something I don't know. I don't know how to go out here and get no deals. Obviously, if I did, I would have closed the deal. Let me just listen to him. He got something to say. He closing deals. He knows something. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you got to just come off your ego and have conviction that what you're doing, or whoever you place your trust in, just trust the process. And that's the hardest thing, because it's not trusting them, it's trusting yourself. Because you don't trust yourself to really do the work, to be honest. Because if you're questioning, that's just like when you in the classroom, and you in school, you don't trust the teacher, I mean, you don't trust yourself to do the homework. You don't trust the teacher. Oh, this teacher ain't teaching us nothing. She ain't really like, no, it's you. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to learn. So I think on the topic of just being coachable is just be willing to listen. Be willing to take criticism. Even if somebody you feel like you being attacked. You know what I'm saying? Just go back on it. Just don't try to immediately like go back and forth and rebuttal. Take whatever they say to with a grain of salt, write it down, and then reflect on it. And then you'll start to see the things about yourself that maybe somebody else said to you outside of this that confirmed it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe other things that popped up that you know about yourself. But being coachable is one of the, life things. Look at all millionaires and billionaires. They're lifelong learners. So it's a reason for that because anybody can offer you any type of insight at any time, to be honest,
I want to touch on, all right, before I let like one of y'all could just, or matter of fact, if you just have a question, just interrupt. But I wanted to say, your Zillow, so, we all do the same method. I teach the same method, how I got all my first deals, a lot of my deals, all from Zillow. And, it took years and years of me perfecting the scripts, studying. I had Eric Klein's script before Eric Klein was even had a YouTube channel. He was just on other people's podcasts. And so anyways, over years I perfected this process. How are you still applying that same process that you learned in this Discord to your everyday life? How have you added on to it? What is your what other skills have you picked up on? And how are you still using Zillow to this day to get deals? How many deals are you getting from Zillow right now? What's in escrow right now? Things like that. How are you? Because you're still doing what we're doing, but you're further along.
Right. Yeah. So Zillow always works because if you know a process and you know how to qualify a lead, you know how to qualify yourself as the expert, right? And that comes with just learning the script. I get that often. People, message me on Instagram from YouTube or whatever. Like, well, I never use the script. Does the script really work? Yes, the script really works if you know how to use the script. A script is just a guideline, right? It's not, oh, just read it off and say it verbatim. No, you learn it, you live it, you learn it. So when you actually apply it to your personality or your archetypes, like, so mine is investors. I love talking to investors because I know the language of investors, right? If you like talking to I was about to say the granny, but if you like talking to older people, you identify with them well. You can be their little, their grandchild. So if that's your archetype, know it and study what responses or what objections you'll get from those calls. I guarantee you it's only a handful of objections that cycle through everybody. Yep. I need to talk to my spouse. Yep. I need more time. I have another offer. What is your offer? Like, those are not real objections. And that's what helped me to try to get a little bit ahead of people just getting in, because I realized that no objection that people give you is their real objection. It's almost like sleight of hand. So if I tell you I need to talk to my spouse, my real objection is you're not offering me enough and I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So if I need more time or I have another offer, no, they don't have another offer. You just not convincing them that you can solve their problem. Yeah. So for me is I had to really deep dive and like put in so many reps on just like the sales process to figure out, okay, what works for me? What works for me when I get these archetypes? Like, so you have an archetype and then you got an arch enemy. So my archetype is investors. My arch enemy is like older sellers.
Really?
Because I'm fast talking. They call me slick. They always call me slick.
Yeah.
And it kind of irritates me. But it's because it's the opposite. Exactly. And so I'm like, dang, how can I come off? Because I do understand. I had to sit back and analyze. Okay, when you talk to investors, you're a bit more savvy. You're a bit more fast talking or smooth with it. And then it can get aggressive at times, and you're kind of asserting your dominance to let them know, look, I understand you've been in the game for 20 years, but this is my process. This is how I work. Because a lot of investors are stuck in their ways. But with older sellers, they respond well to compassion, to laughter, to love. Like, They don't respond well to somebody telling them what their house is worth, what you think their house is worth. No, but instead, if you ask them, hey, so if what do you think this was? I mean, I know you bought it back in 1980s, and this was the best house on the block. Where do you think this currently sits with, the new houses that's been coming up? And I mean, the things that they're doing with this technology. If you know how to speak that language, Isaiah is a king at this when it comes to his archetype. Like, hey, Miss Mary, how's it going? You know what I'm saying? Like, to learn that and learn who you speak well with, and that would take you further. And then learn the opposite too. Because at first, I only lean into invest. Oh, I got an investor. Cool. But then when I get that person, I'm shy. I'm reserved. I don't know how to. So then I start working on my weaknesses. Meaning, okay, how can I dissect the script and re-engineer it to fit what my objective, what I'm saying, my objective is. So I just worked on like archetypes and arch enemies, and like just kind of play around with it. It's free. Like, you're literally not paying for any of these calls besides your phone bill. Why not just call everybody? Even I used to use a practice state, right? So if I'm in Ohio, I'll go to like Pittsburgh, or I'll go to West Virginia and just call some random people just to use them. Yeah, just practice. Yeah. Because you don't care how that outcome is going to go. You're not even looking to do a deal there. Yeah. So why not just call somebody random and see if you can close? Now I'm trying to close anybody. Bro, spam called me, and I'm trying to sell them on, like, okay, I'm always selling. You know what I mean? So that's what really kind of stood out to me, and how I was able to, get a little bit more consistent. I'm actually currently working on 4 deals in escrow right now.
All from Zillow.
All from Zillow. All from Zillow. They all off market, right? So and I talked to you, Jayra, about this technique is, have a conversation with your seller. I used to go in the standpoint of, okay, it's cash. We're flexible on this. Now I come from the standpoint of the investor. I always use my lenders, right? This is always going to be a lender deal. It's a cash deal, but I work with partners. I work with a lender. So I let the sellers know that, so they know, okay, because obviously once you get your buyer, they're going to have their appraisers go in. They're going to have their, their lenders, contractors, or whatever go to the property. So they're not spooked, or they're fully aware of what you can, what's the process going to be like. So when I tell them that, I just tell them, hey, look, I just do want to let you know my lender will require this to be an off-market property. And as long as, the listing is taken down, I'll send over the paperwork and we get the process going. Usually never have any pushback from it, because people, I mean, what you gonna say if you're getting the number that you want? You qualified yourself. They like you, trust you. They already want a contract with you. They accepted your offer. What they gonna say now? Oh, no, I'm not pulling it off. Well, the deal's not gonna happen. Sorry. So that's how I've been working the process. Well, tweaking, a little bit things. Using different word tracks that I found that gets results. So I'm looking at Eric Klein. I'm looking at Jerry Norton. I'm looking at these other top sellers in our field that it speaks very well on the phone. What are they using? What are actual techniques? Like me and Isaiah talked about, that I say, I have some capital gains that I'm looking to defer. A lot of investors, a lot of investors tell me that, honestly, they like, hey, look, I'm just looking for a quick deal just to get these taxes off my back. So I just use that. And that's where the conversations really come in at, because you got to really make sure you're getting those 20 conversations, and really make sure you're getting those 5 conversations with buyers. So go on Facebook, look in your local market, whatever you're looking to do deals. People are posting deals every day. Go up under those comments. It's buyers in there. Reach out to those buyers. Hey, look, I got a few leads in the pipeline. I'm looking to, bring on some more buyers to my list, add you to my list. What are you looking for currently? What's the best number to reach you at? So that's so we can have a quick conversation. So when you get them on the phone, you want to really get their full buy box. What year are they buying in? I usually ask for the opposite. What are you not buying? Right? So I don't want 1950s or older. I don't want this. I don't want this. So then I can kind of compile you into, okay, these people are wanting light rehabs. These buyers are want heavy. These buyers don't care what they get. They just want a deal. You know what I mean? So, but you also are able to learn lingo. because buyers speak in their language. That's all they know. And you able to say, okay, so buyer tell you, look, I got some capital gains from this other property. I'm looking to defer over to this. So I'm actually flexible. I don't care about closing it quickly. I'm usually in 10 days, this, that, and third. You use that same lingo that they tell you with your sellers, because it talks about a lot of reaffirming yourself to yourself. So that language, speaking that language with a buyer who is a buyer, you can look at their profile. They doing rehabs, they doing flips. You know that this language is real. You take it and implement it. You got that conviction now because this ain't coming from me. I learned this from somebody who actually doing deals.
Exactly.
So then you go tell your sellers that, and it puts more confidence in yourself, but it also puts more confidence in them. They like, oh, dang, this person is actually, So, and I'll say this, I know this wasn't one of y'all questions. I've been doing more land deals, right? And land is a really good untapped market. I think when you first get in your first deal, you're trying to get those first few deals, just really strictly focus on houses. But I'm able to take what I've learned now and transfer it over to land deals, talking to more builders and developers, learning that language, because I mean, it's a whole different asset class. So you really will have to relearn everything you think you knew about, flipping houses or renovating houses, what a windows cost and whatever, because they're doing ground up construction. But I hope that, answered your questions.
I got two things. So, one of them, the transition from wholesaler or beginner wholesaler to business owner, what that mental shift is like. And then two, I guess on top of that, and why I was thinking of that is, have you been paying for marketing?
I dabbled into paying for marketing. Remember, we spoke about that, but it wasn't on a full scale that I wanted to. I was like,
which marketing was that?
It was SMS.
So you
It
tried
was really cold call, actually, because I started off initially wanting to text it, but I had to get my website. The website I have, the software was saying I had to include a web form to be able to collect data and things like that. So I was trying to figure that out. But while I was figuring it out, I'm like, all right, I just paid for this list. I just skip trade. Yeah, I know, but you got to go through a system where you figuring it out.
Hey, but that goes back into like, bro, I got you. Like, but yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
At the time, like my funds was delegated so far because obviously I got kids, I got a family, my daughter's in private school, and it's not cheap. So, but you still got to allocate funds to go back into your business. So I was like really tight at that time, and I was like, all right, I still got to keep something going. So I just started cold calling it, and I got a few deals from it. But it wasn't really
calling a list.
Mm-hmm.
Calling which the city list?
No, it wasn't a city list. It was like some niche list. It was like absentee owner probate vacant, basically, or out of state probates that were vacant. So it's like a high motivation list. Got a few contracts from it. Ultimately, never closed a deal from it. I think I just wasn't consistent because it was a new system from going from Zillow warm leads to cold calling. So I was like, all right, let me go back to what I know to try to build back up capital to scale the right way. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. So that now I'm like, all right, I'm not hand dialing. I'm not doing none of that. I'm about to go to tap in with Isaiah and get the full scale, the next level.
So look,
for marketing.
So yeah, so I wanted to say that, but 2 points again. So remind me.
But look, I do have to wrap this up. When I get outside, I will continue with y'all. But I do have to go
right now.
Yeah, right now.
All right, I got you. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you being a guest in here. That's awesome. If you guys want to subscribe to Caleb's YouTube channel, I'm gonna leave that in the
subscribe.
Yeah.
Watching it.
Description.
Yeah, leave it in the. I think it's MFMTV1. I appreciate y'all for having me. Happy hunting. Keep grinding. Keep your head down, and you got a mentor. Just trust the process.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you, bro. Damn, I ain't letting none of y'all talk. What is one thing that one of y'all would have asked him?
I feel like how he handles like where a deal falls through last minute, or like just like a time where his deal fell through, what he did. I know deals fall through all the time, but if he still experiences that on a monthly or weekly basis.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he does. Deals fall through all the time, every day.
Right.
Was there anything else anybody else was gonna ask, or was?
That was good.
Yeah.
Crazy. A lot of information.
Yeah, it's just as he was talking, I was like, all these ideas were going on in my head. That's why every time I talk to him on the phone, bro, we end up staying on the phone for like an hour just digressing. But yeah, that's what's up. He's still doing full Zillow, all Zillow. This is all Zillow. And I just wanted him to speak on the mindset shift of wholesaler, business owner. Small time wholesaler trying to get a deal, CEO. Because he had a very stressful, toxic household. I wanted him to talk about that a little bit more, about what it was like when he has 2 kids, a family. He lives with people who are depending on him to make some sort of money, and he not only has to deal with the stresses and responsibilities of having a family, but being able to prove to them, like, this works. I know it works. I know it works. I know it could work, and da da da, like hitting and having trust in the process, and then finally being able to make it work. To now these people don't question nothing. That it's like, they don't question anything. They know that he makes money. He said I wanted to ask him like how much money specifically he has in escrow right now. I think last time he said like 50K or something, or something like that. But yeah, what did y'all, any like feedback, or did you guys get any value like out of it, or that you want to comment or say?
Yeah, so like say if I get a deal on Zillow and then I want to make sure that I'm getting like super consistent with it, and I don't want just one deal a month. I want like two, three. You know what I mean? Do I just have to raise my KPIs? Is that, or do I just gotta like what? How do I? You know what I
So
mean?
you're saying, how do you go from just getting hopefully one deal to making sure that you're guaranteed to hit multiple deals a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell this to my team, Ian and Twan, and I'll tell this on YouTube. It's really just about doing the boring things every single day. If you do the boring things every single day, you build what's called momentum, and they just start coming and they just start flowing. But if you want consistent results, you first have to be consistent in your output, and then the results will see that, recognize that, and they will follow along. It's just a time lag between how long you have to be consistent for every day, for the consistent deals to catch up to that. So if you want consistent deals, y'all, all it takes is 20 conversations with 20 different people and 3 offers a day, and you want those 3 offers to be at least 30 minutes each. That is the bare minimum. That is the bar, the minimum to make this work. And again, you got to look at this as a business, not you hitting your KPIs, or I'm just a small timer hitting my KPIs, or oh, I'm just trying to get a deal from Zillow. No, you have a business, and this is how you know that your business is alive and blood is flowing through your business. And you have to manually, like I said, like you're doing CPR on your business, manually pumping blood into it every day. Now it gets to the point to where it's automatically pumping blood through him, and or through the business, and it's just going. It's going, it's living. So the key is just hitting the KPIs every single day. But it's hard to see the value in it right now when there's no results. I wanted him to talk about that too. How do you, I'm sure a lot of beginners have is like, how do I deal with motivation, or how do I deal with, hitting the KPIs, or how am I supposed to hit the KPIs, and da 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 da. So that when you get further along in business, that never crosses your mind. Like that never crosses my mind of like, how do I find the motivation, or
You make it to a habit.
yeah, it's not a question I ask myself. It's like, because I have the evidence already. I know if I do this, I get X. If I do X, I get Y. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, when you don't have that proof of concept, you like start questioning the KPIs. You start questioning and doubting, does this really work? Should I really hit these KPIs? Should I really use this script word for word? Maybe I should make up my own script. No, this isn't working. Maybe I should go do my own thing. Maybe I should go cold call. Maybe I should go da 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 da. Caleb even just said, tried paying for marketing, wasted time, didn't work. I could have told him that because I did it already. I had a list and I was just cold calling them. But yeah, it's just like go trusting in the process. Somebody's here to give you a process, hold your hand through the process, and you just get to hold my hand and not think, you know? Obviously, you want to always be learning how to be a problem solver, learn to think for yourself. But as far as like the process goes, don't question it. Don't worry about it. Don't, what if I didn't get any contracts? Like, no, just trust the process. Do the process. I got you. Did anybody else get anything from that, or like have any questions about that or anything?
I also liked how he mentioned like he prefers to talk to investors rather than like grannies. I feel like for the most part, we all want to talk to grannies.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're easy. They're so nice, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet old ladies, you know? Uh but if you make it a habit to try and get into the harder ones, the
Yeah.
harder nuts to crack, it makes you that much better.
Those are hard, bro. They don't crack.
It makes you more skilled uh to deal with those types of people. He said he had to go because he had showings in his house. All right, I'm about to end this recording if unless somebody wants to like just something.
Fair question. He still does 100% Zillow.
100% Zillow. All Zillow right now. And now
He doesn't put.
you don't pay for no marketing, nothing. He just learns, he's learning like as you go through this and you learn business and entrepreneurship, you're learning about life. And like he learned like, hey,
He's the boring. He's the boring.
yeah, it's like, hey, I'm gonna just do what works. And what works is what Isaiah taught me. So yeah, he still uses Zillow to this day, but now after he closes these few deals he has this month, I think he said he has 4 in escrow. He's gonna get with me. We're gonna hook him up with the cold callers and everything, and the list and everything, and the whole system and the CRM and everything, and just elevate his business, take it to the next level, because he's already shifting his mindset from individual wholesaler to business owner. He's making that shift. And it's important that you guys all keep that in mind too. Like have that vision of, I'm not just a wholesaler. I don't just wholesale part-time, or I'm not just trying to get a deal. I own and operate a business that's, moving forward, getting better every single day. Was somebody about to say something? Elijah, you about to say something?
Hey, Isaiah, I have a quick question.
What's good, bro?
Um, I have a job where it takes the majority of my day. How would I be able to consistently? I can't answer my phone for the majority of the day. How would I be able to consistently close deals?
Consistently closing deals means you have to consistently hit a certain amount of numbers every day. So you need to find a way around that, find a way whatever times that you have available. So what is your schedule like?
My schedule varies. Thursday and Friday, I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. So I get home around 4:30 p.m. And the rest of the days I work from around 10:30 a.m. to maybe 8 p.m. And the commute is an hour back and forth.
Yeah. Then you have to find whatever waking second or minute that you are not doing something else.
It's a little hard. It's a little hard. I really wanna put my all into this, but
Yeah, it's not a
it's
little
just
hard.
my job. It's
It's
job.
it's not a little hard, it's very hard.
Yeah.
You have to make that it's on you if this is a priority for you. You know, a lot of
It's
people,
definitely a priority. This job takes the majority of my day. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. And I get that. I get that, you know, and people come in here with jobs or responsibilities or things or school that they also have to take care of. And, you know, if I wanted to sound like David Goggins or, you know, Andy Elliott or someone or some, you know, hard ass motivational speaker, then they'll tell you like, how do you do it? You just do it. You got to sacrifice, and not just on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. It's every second of every minute of every hour of every day. There's times where you're eating lunch at work. You could be calling people. There's times where you're on a commute to work. You should be calling people. Have a list of people to call. And you should be practicing sales every single day. And then you bring it into your other work. You just start being happier at the job that you have, whatever that job is, whether it's manual labor or whether it's, you know, customer service, whatever your job is. You want to change your identity. You want to start looking at yourself differently as you're going throughout your day, as you're in your other workplace, your 9 to 5. That's something that I talk about a lot that I did. Anytime, you know, when I used to be a server or whatever, I was doing whatever, anywhere I go, I always walked around with this confidence, knowing that like they don't even know who they're talking to right now. Like I'm gonna be a millionaire. And I just had that delusional belief and I just carried it with me every single second of the day. So, but as far as like to get consistent wholesale deals, I'm saying every second you got to be obsessed, and you could kind of make it a habit or really fully go into that by just changing your mindset and identity to I'm a business owner. And this is what business owners do. You know, look at stories or look at, you know, Dana White interviews. uh Dana White talks about like how most people want to be entrepreneur because they want to pick their own hours, they want to take off, they don't want to have a boss tell them what to do. But in reality, entrepreneurship is 10 times harder, 10 times more risk, more worry and stress. So, you know, it's on you. Not everybody's built for entrepreneurship. But if you are built for it, then life is going to test you and you're going to have to prove it. Okay. You want to have a job? Cool. How much are you willing to, outside of the job, how much time are you willing to put into yourself? So when it comes to consistency, bro, you just have to have a metric that you're going to hit every day and make sure that no matter what happens, no matter what my hours are, no matter what, somehow I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And I'm going to make these calls. I'm going to call this many people. I'm going to make this many offers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate that.
All right, I'm going to end this recording.